Heidi ho there, my lovies. Welcome back to Crazy But Not Dangerous. I'm Shorty Vaughn. Hello to all my new subscribers. Hello to all my lovies. Yippee skippy. Well, we're back here in my kitchen again in Glendale, Arizona, and I am just thrilled to be on here with you all. Yeah, I know I was just on yesterday, but I miss you. I do. And you know what? We eat dinner almost every night, so we got to get down to it. Yippee skippy. I had every intention of getting my crock pot going this morning. I woke up with the best of intentions, and then I had a few phone calls from roofers and contractors and insurance adjusters and the whole 9 yards. And yeah, so it's almost, it's after 2. It's after 2 in the afternoon, and I got to get some dinner going because we're going to starve. It's going to be peanut butter and jelly or pork and beans from a can if I don't get going here. So, Melissa went to the grocery store last night and brought me home a surprise. This is a U.S. Choice chuck cross rib steak. There's 4 of them. They're thinly cut. They were 30% off. Yippee skippy. I just love that. That sticker, it makes my heart sing. Yeah, like from the sound of the music. The hills are alive, you know. And I had a couple of leeks in my refrigerator that we need to move on along. She also brought me home this enormous package of mushrooms from the 99 cents only store because she knows how much I love them. And these are huge. Yeah, these are huge mini bellas. Yeah, they're not like mini bellas at all. They're not quite as big as baby bellas, but they're big boys, and I can dig it. So very simply, I'm just going to do a real quick braised beef in the oven. It's going to braise, you know, a couple of hours, and then we're going to have a nice early dinner so we can watch Jeopardy. Yippee skippy. I love it. I love it. I love it, babies. All right. I know I'm too enthusiastic today, but you know what? It's been nothing but pretty darn good news all day long, and I am just on cloud 9. Yay, hooray. My insurance is going to cover my new roof, and all I have to pay is my deductible, and the contractor I've chosen, and the insurance adjuster. They work together. I don't have to do anything besides write a check for my deductible. Yay, hooray, I can get behind that. Okay, I'm going to turn my oven on to 325 degrees. And I am going to turn this Dutch oven, I'm cooking in the Dutch oven today. I'm going to turn this on about a 5. I'm going to give it some sprays of olive oil here because I am going to go ahead and brown up my meats. I could get a bigger pan out because these are some pretty big chuck steaks, but I'm going to go ahead and just do them one at a time, offset them, and then put them back in because I don't want to do, I don't want to do a pan. I just want to do the little plate. So I've got that heating up. We'll go ahead and throw in one of these steaks. And these are pretty thin. But chuck is a meat that can really take a lot of cooking. Yeah, a lot of slow cooking to be its best self. So I will just get a plate out here to offset my steaks as I'm browning them. And so I'm going to brown them 4 minutes on each side. I'm making a mess. Watch out. So yeah, 4 minutes on each side for the best browning. And I really want a pretty decent sear on those. I'm not going to touch them. But while that's going, let's go ahead and take a look at my leeks. So this is a leek. It's a member of the onion family. Kind of tastes a little bit between onion and garlic. They're very flavorful. They're also usually pretty darn dirty. So yeah, we've got all the dirty vegetables today. We've got the leeks. We've got the mushrooms. Those look pretty filthy. So with a leek, I typically go ahead and cut straight down the middle from the top because a lot of times where I find the dirt, so on the inside, you can see it's kind of fibrous. It's kind of like an accordion, like a concertina. Yeah, so that's usually where I find my dirt. And so if I open them up like that, then I can give them a good wash up. The tops, the really green part, are not especially tender and delicious. So I will go ahead and just chop those right up and put those in my compost pile. I'll take care of those later. I gotta go out there and turn it. It's getting full. Those would be delicious. Those leek tops would be delicious if you were saving them for your stock. And then I just go ahead and wash this, give it a little scrub-a-dub-dub, make sure I get in all of those cracks and crevices, because yeah, we don't like dirt and grit in our braised beef. And then at the bottom, you can see where it had roots and they got trimmed over at the grocery store. That's where you cut off that part. Just throw that part away. Or you can try planting that in your garden. I've had some success, not lots, but I've had some success. I've also had some success with just going ahead and putting these into a glass of water, just like you would scallions. So let's go ahead and chop our bottoms off now and just set those to the side. I'll throw them in the compost pile, and if they decide to grow, well, good luck to them. And then I'm just going to give these, about a 1/2 inch little chop up. They'll be fine. They're going to break down because we're braising. It's going to be low and slow. I think that's my storyline for this week. Low and slow, because I've got a lot of things to do and I don't have a lot of time to sit there watching it. You could absolutely do this in your crock pot. Browning your meat would be optional, whether you want to do it or not. Sometimes I do. Sometimes I'm just lazy and I don't. I feel like I have had a little frog in my throat all day long. Probably because it was so beautiful. We had the windows open a lot. Yeah, it's 76 degrees here today. That's my temperature. If I could find somewhere to live where it was 76 degrees every day, that's where I would go. But so would the rest of you. So it would be really crowded. But I'd have all my loads. Okay, got that turned over. Let's go ahead and move this on to the side. I am also going to go ahead and put a whole onion in there. You know, an onion a day keeps the doctor away. I was trying to think of some of my mom's sayings last night. And here's one that she used all the time. So my parents had like an antique store, and they, my mother loved French antiques. They would get in there, they had a moving van, and they would go to Houston, Texas to the antique auctions, because at the time that was one of the best ports to buy antiques from. Anyhow, they would get in their moving van, they would go to Texas, they would buy antiques right off of the auction block, bring them back to Cave Creek for sale. And so, yeah, there was always big furniture, moving in, moving out, that kind of thing. And so my mother would often have to hire, you know, big, strong, burly men to move things off the truck into the store, from the store into, you know, to someone's house or something like that. They offered delivery. And, you know, if she got any flack from any of the guys that she hired to move this big, heavy furniture, she would tell them that they were weaker than a cat's butt. And yeah, let me help you with that, you big old strong burly man. Yeah, you're weaker than a cat's butt. It didn't serve her well. Yeah. But she had a lot of them, a lot of sayings, a lot of Georgia-isms. And she was They're kind of funny now. So getting this onion all chopped up. How are you lovies doing today? You doing all right? Everything okay? Are you staying dry and warm? Don't forget your jacket. All right. I'll go ahead and take this one off and put the next one on. I'm not worried about, touching these vegetables and touching this meat because everything's going to go in there to cook up. So it will all get past the danger zone together. It will be fine. We're going to serve these over boiled potatoes. And I haven't decided yet if I'm going to mash them or not. They would be good mash. There we go. So we've got my leeks. We've got my onion. This is going to be a pretty oniony kind of dish. Oniony. I don't know if that's a word or not, but it is now. Let's go ahead and get some of these mushrooms going. We've got just a little damp towel, a little microfiber towel. And give these a little, oh, that one's pretty clean. Look how big these babies are. Yeah. They're fantastic. So yeah, the nicest flames adjuster came from Farmers, and yeah, lady, you need a new roof. And we'll go ahead and pay for it. I can dig it. I can dig it. And my contractor that I've selected, he is so nice. So he came to the house sober, which I appreciate. You'd be surprised. You would think that that was just, a given. But you'd be surprised who's come to my house to interview, to get up on my roof. You might need to just come back another day, honey. Another day when you're feeling better, maybe. Anyhow, yeah, he came on time. He came sober. He's really nice. These are so thin, they are browning up in less than 4 minutes. So that's okay. It'll be fine. I'm not going to cut these mushrooms into very small pieces. I'm going to leave them in about thirds because they're so large and because this is going to braise for quite a while. I love a braise. I love a crock pot meal. And if I had just gotten up 1 hour earlier, I probably could have gotten it done. But, that's not going to stop me. We're going to eat it. It's going to be fantastic. There we go. Maybe one more. All right, that looks like plenty of delicious veg to me. We've got the leeks, we've got the onion, we've got the mushroom. Yippee skippy. Oh, my oven's preheated, 325 degrees. And there we go. I'm going to go ahead and brown up these last 2 chuck steaks. And then we're going to get everything in there. Oh, it smells great already. But I want to show you something real quick. I have to remember with this Dutch oven that it does not have cool handles. So, look at all that great brown at the bottom. Yeah. That's what I really want. That's going to help flavor our braising liquid. And that's going to be really flavorful and delicious. I'm going to get these last 2 chuck steaks in here. I'm going to get some more of that delicious brown going at the bottom. I believe it's called fawn. And yeah, then we're going to add a braising liquid. We're going to add our meat back in. We're going to add the veg. We're going to put the lid on it. Now you can use any veg that you want. Carrot, celery, onion. You could just use the mushrooms. You could just use the onion. Yeah, any combination. Whatever. If you've still got some of those parsnips, those would be delicious in here. Don't peel them first. Alrighty, I got my chuck steaks all browned up. Yippee skippy. I've got to make a little bit of braising liquid for that to cook down in. So I've got my skillet, my Dutch oven here, and it's got plenty of those delicious brown drippings and the fawn on it. I'm going to go ahead and add 2 cups of water just to deglaze it. There we go. We might need more water because I want this covered, but I don't want it to go for, I want it to go for like a deep wade, you know, like waist high, but you know, not up over its head. So I'm just going to take my little wooden spatula kind of thing and kind of scrape up some of those delicious bits. And that's going to be my first layer of seasoning in my braising liquid. Yippee skippy. All right. I have some brown gravy here. I buy this in bulk over at my Smart and Final. It's kind of like a Costco, but without the membership costs, and I like that. So I'm going to put 2 tablespoons of that brown gravy mixture in there. That's also the equivalent of 1 envelope. I have a package, what is this? 0.5 ounces of Laura Scudder's cracked black pepper dip. And this is peppery and delicious. It also has a little bit of parsley and garlic and all of those herbs and spices. And it's kind of chunky looking. So that's going to be great. That's going to be very seasoned and flavorful for us. Good deal. Get that all stirred in there. Scrape up some more of those brown bits. Oh yeah, that smells good already. Okay, what else we need? Alrighty, let's go ahead and put in about half of a tablespoon of the Worcestershire sauce. Perfect. That is really going to enhance that beef flavor and also impart a lot of flavor to those delicious mushrooms. And then I am also going to add 1/2 tablespoon of the red wine vinegar because this is a delicious meat, but it is going to be its best self when it is tender and slow cooked. And this vinegar will help break down some of those connective tissues of a chuck steak. Same deal if it's a chuck roast. All right, so we've got a good braising liquid going on there. Aromatic, delicious. You won't taste the acidity from that red wine vinegar. It will just go ahead and meld with everything else. But there will be a chemical reaction that will break down with those connective tissues. And yeah, it'll be fantastic. I wouldn't leave just stray, baby. Let's go ahead and get my beef back in. Yes, please, and thank you. Okay, and so some of my beef is under, and some of my beef, it's just to the shoulder. And that'll be just fine. Whoops, I dropped something. Big surprise. All right, I'm gonna put my onions in here as my first layer. I'm gonna put my mushrooms in as my second layer. Those are all chopped really big and hearty. Yes, please, and thank you. Okay, and then my leeks are going to go on last because those are the most delicate, but those are going to impart such a great flavor. Those are so delicious. I love them. Okay. I am going to pop the lid on here and grab my little handy towels here and get these into my oven, 325 degrees. Oh. And I can let that go between 2 and probably 4 hours, just depending on how hungry you are, when dinner is. It'll give me plenty of time to cook up my mess. But wasn't baby sister so sweet? She brought me the big bunch of mushrooms. I just love that. We have plenty for later in the week too. These are really good. They're really firm, no soft spots. But do you see how the moisture is condensing around here? I think that moisture and your veg are just mortal enemies. Yeah, that's gonna make it possible for mold to grow. So I am gonna go ahead and get them out of this container, get them into something a little bit drier where it has more airflow and there's no moisture buildup, because I want them to be their best selves, yummy and delicious, for as long as humanly possible. Now I'm gonna serve this over boiled potatoes, but you could serve this over rice, mashed potatoes, egg noodles would be fantastic. If you wanted to whip up some quinoa, treat yourself. Have at it. Okay, so I decided that this container that the mushroom's in was pretty good. It's pretty substantial plastic. So I just gave it a rinse off in the sink. I'm gonna get it nice and dry. I repackage a lot of my produce from the grocery store because the grocery store has very little interest in preserving your fruits and vegetables in a way that makes them last. Yeah, it's not good for their bottom line. Those fruits and vegetables go bad, you don't get to them quickly enough. That's in their best interest, not yours, baby. So let's get every bit of life out of ours that we can. Mine's nice and dry inside and out. So I am going to go ahead and just put a paper towel in here, just like that. And then I'm going to go ahead and put my mushrooms in there. See, you can kind of see like where it's sat in a little bit of that moisture. And yeah, that's not good. That's not going to help it any. That's not going to help it be its best self. But we'll go ahead and get these in there. I like to store mine upside down in the container. And then I have another little bit of paper towel that I'm going to put on top just to keep them, you know, safe and sanitized. That kind of thing. Still allowing for good airflow. Got rid of the top piece of the plastic, the peel-off plastic. And I think those are going to do much better in my refrigerator. Last the longest. Yeah, that blue styrofoam container with that, you know, piece of saran wrap and the label on top, that just spells disaster for your mushrooms. Keep them nice. I've had my braise in at about 325 degrees for about 2.5 hours now. I have gone ahead and turned it up to 375, removed the lid because I do want some of that braising liquid to reduce so it is more sauce-like and not quite so liquidy. I have washed and rinsed my potatoes here, and I am going to go ahead and just cut these into a little bit more manageable bites. The verdict was out that they did not want boiled potatoes. They wanted smashed potatoes. So, you know, I'm going to have just a dab, just a little bit, you know, to satisfy my carb craving so I don't go crazy in the clock tower. Anyhow, going to smash these up with a little butter and a little bit of the 2% milk. And yeah, they'll be happy. I'll be happy. I like these little yellow wax potatoes. They're going to mash just fine, but they don't raise my glucose levels too much. And you don't have to peel them. That's the best part for me because I hate to peel potatoes. I've spent a lifetime doing prep work. And you know what? I'll take an easy out. Absolutely. All right, my lovies, we're almost there. It's almost dinner time. Yay, hooray. Oops. Oh, Pillsbury. Don't jump. Don't make a run for it. Where's he think he's going? All right, I've got some sour cream. I've got a little bit of butter. No, it's not butter. I don't know what that is. Okay, well, we're not eating that. Okay, well, they wanted mashed potatoes. I went to go grab butter. I had 2 sticks in there last time I looked, and all of a sudden, they're gone. Just poof. I don't know. I don't know what happened to them. You know, the little critters that eat your socks must have come and take my 2 sticks of butter away with them. But remember when we did vegan Christmas dinner? I had these 2 sticks of imperial margarine left over, so it's not my favorite, and they are frozen solid. I'm going to go ahead and throw these right inside this little measuring cup and nuke this up. I'm going to add sour cream to it and some 2% milk, and maybe they won't know the difference. And they don't know it yet, but I'm going to put this into the butter cloche. And that's what the butter that we're going to have for the rest of the week, because I'm not running to the store before grocery day. Let's go ahead and make these potatoes. I'm going to put about a generous 1 tablespoon of the sour cream in there, just for a little extra deliciousness. And now that we're using the margarine, a little, dairy fat. And I just boiled my potatoes for about 12 minutes. That's all they take. Or until they're good and fork tender. Add my melted margarine, my butter-like product. I'm not mad at margarine. I just prefer butter. And I don't cook with a whole lot of butter. I don't fry a lot. So, I don't worry about it that much. That little bit of butter or bacon fat, yeah, I don't worry about that in the slightest. Splash of milk. I can always add more, but I don't want real loose mashed potatoes. I'm only going to be able to have just, a tablespoon of mashed potatoes. I want them to be extra delicious. Gonna just give these a whip up with my hand mixer here. Bring it back in just a minute. All right, well, those whipped up super creamy and delicious. Yes, please, and thank you. Got some of those good skins in there from those potatoes. A little extra fiber, a little extra yum. They need a little bit of seasoning. They are a little bit bland. So I'm going to add just a touch of kosher salt. I know. And I'm going to add just a little bit of parsley just to make them look extra special. Impart a little bit of flavor. And everything's better with bacon, parsley, bacon fat, But my secret ingredient will always be the love. And I love Andrew, and I love Melissa, and Pigpen, and all of you babies. And so I will just, add that little bit of parsley. They will think that that's extra special, because they are. They are, absolutely. Anyhow, those look good. Those potatoes look real good. Yeah, they look fantastic. I am going to enjoy my tablespoonful. Gonna just go ahead and set them back here. On my stove, that back gets plenty hot and usually keeps whatever warm until I'm ready to dish everything up. I've got a few things to clean up. Got most of my dishes done. Oh, but we didn't do it. Let's do classic TV trivia. All right. On the Mary Tyler Moore Show, can you name Mary's coworkers? Yeah. Points for each one that you can name. I love Mary Tyler Moore Show. I loved Mary Tyler Moore, and I just thought that she was awesome, and single woman out there on her own doing it upright in Minneapolis. I've never been to Minneapolis, but It seems friendly enough. All right, let's make a plate. I'm so hungry, my belly's hitting my backbone. Take a little tablespoon of my mashed potatoes and put it right there. And then I'm just going to give it a smear across the plate, just like at a fancy restaurant. So it seems like more. Yeah, maybe I can fool myself into believing that, right? That's going to be fine. That's going to be just the perfect amount for me. But I am going to allow myself a hefty amount of protein. And this chuck steak, that can be a very hard, steak to cook, in my opinion. It's going to take low and slow cooking. It's just falling apart. So yes, I'm going to allow myself a hefty portion of that right next to my smear of mashed potatoes. And then I can also have plenty of mushrooms and the leeks and the onion. So let's go ahead and get myself out some of those. Those mushrooms are looking fantastic. Those are going to be so satisfying and good. Very luxurious. There we go. Give myself a little extra pan sauce, a little extra gravy. All right, I think that looks fantastic. I can hardly wait to dig in. Oh, the smells. It's got them all. Yay, hooray. This house has smelled good for hours. I love it when my house smells like food. And yeah, like Grandma's house. Anyhow, Aunt Shorty's house, because I'm not a grandma. Anyhow, my lovies, I hope that you're eating something warm and tasty and fantastic tonight. Ooh, I'm going to add a little fresh cracked black pepper. Yeah. The cherry on top. Yippee skippy. All right. Jeopardy's almost done. We got to go. Be good, be careful. Look both ways. I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching Crazy But Not Dangerous.